absolute legend is one of pure rally-bred passion. It's a tale of a company that took a brilliant idea and refined it, generation after generation, all in the pursuit of speed and domination. So grab a coffee, settle in, and let's talk about one of the most iconic cars in automotive history. You know, the EVO story doesn't actually begin with the Lancer. It all started with a bigger, heavier sedan called the Gallant VR4. Mitsubishi needed a car for the World Rally Championship, and the Gallant was their first weapon of choice. It had this incredible 2-liter turbocharged S-AWC engine and a full-time all-wheel drive system. But it was just too big and heavy for the tight and technical rally stages. It's here that I think Mitsubishi's engineers had a stroke of pure genius. They took that brilliant VR4 drivetrain and crammed it into the much smaller and a lighter Lancer chassis. That, my friends, is how the legend of the Lancer EVO began in 1992. This was the birth of the beast. The first EVO was a pure homologation special, meaning it was built to meet WRC rules. Mitsubishi only planned to produce 2,500 of them, but you won't believe this. They sold out in a staggering 3 days. They had to double production to 5,000 units just to keep up with demand. This was a critical turning point. It demonstrated a massive, unexpected public appetite for a road car that was essentially a rally machine with a license plate. It came in 2 flavors: the stripped-down, race-ready RS, and the more livable GSR, with things like power windows and a digital climate control. It had that glorious 4G63T engine, which produced 247 horsepower and 228 pound-feet of torque at 3,000 RPM. This model wasn't a complete reinvention, but more of a refinement based on what they learned on the rally circuit. They focused on making the car handle even better, which is what rally is all about. They increased the wheelbase a tiny bit, gave it a lighter front sway bar, and put on a bigger rear spoiler and wider tires. Power was increased to 256 horses, but torque remained unchanged. This direct link between competition performance and road car development would become a hallmark of the EVO series. This is where the EVO started to get that aggressive, iconic look we all love. It was another direct result of rally feedback. It featured a new aggressive aero kit with a revised front bumper that improved airflow to the radiator, intercooler, and brakes. The engine was improved with a higher compression ratio and a new turbocharger compressor, bumping power to 266 horsepower. This was the first EVO that helped Tommi Mäkinen win his inaugural WRC title, solidifying the car's place as a champion. Now we're really getting into the good stuff. The EVO 4, 5, and 6 are what I like to call the golden age, because they took the car's technology to a completely new level. It was during this period that the horsepower numbers hit that magical number, but it was the new tech that truly set them apart. This was a major leap forward. Mitsubishi completely redesigned the Lancer platform and did something revolutionary. They rotated the engine and transaxle 180 degrees to improve weight balance and fight torque steer. But the true game changer was the introduction of active yaw control on the GSR model. It's a system that uses sensors to hydraulically control torque split between the left and right rear wheels to help the car turn better. It was a brilliant response to a self-imposed limitation. With a gentleman's agreement capping horsepower at 276 horses, engineers couldn't simply add power. Instead, they innovated with technology to make the car faster through corners, creating a profoundly different and a more engaging driving experience. The EVO 4 was also the last model to be classified as a compact car in Japan due to its dimensions. EVO 5 was a visual stunner. Its wide-body fenders were a necessity to fit the wider tires and bigger Brembo brakes with rear aluminum calipers. The engine was officially still rated at that gentleman's agreement limit of 276 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque. This model was all about giving the EVO's brilliant platform the power and the stopping force to match its handling prowess. The EVO 6 refined the 5's aggressive styling and was the car that helped Tommi Mäkinen secure his 4th consecutive WRC title. But the real star of the show was the limited edition Tommi Mäkinen Edition, TME. This special edition, a holy grail for collectors, was a direct celebration of Mäkinen's success and proof of the deep connection between the brand's racing and road divisions. It featured a unique front bumper, special Recaro seats with the T Mäkinen logo, and a titanium aluminum turbine for better response. Its peak torque of 275 pound-feet arrived at a lower RPM than the standard EVO, making it feel incredibly responsive and agile. All right, get ready, because this is the era when the EVO finally became a global superstar. The demand on the gray import market was so immense, especially after the EVO started winning everything, that Mitsubishi decided it was time to officially bring the car to North America. What do you think prompted this huge move? You might be surprised, but it was all because of its main rival. The EVO 7 was the first to be built on a new and a larger Lancer Sedia platform. This made it heavier, which concerned some purists. But Mitsubishi countered this with an active center differential that worked in tandem with active yaw control to precisely control the torque split between the front and rear axles. It was all about making the heavier car handle even better. This was also the first EVO to have an automatic transmission option, the GTA model. This is the one that most US enthusiasts first fell in love with. Mitsubishi saw how well the Subaru WRX was doing in the States. This was a classic example of competition driving market expansion. The US version had some differences, like a bulkier rear bumper for safety, and sadly, no active yaw control on the early models. But it still had that raw, brutal feel of a true rally car that was so punishing and yet so rewarding. The MR Mitsubishi Racing Edition came with a 6-speed manual and Bilstein shocks, making it an even more focused track weapon. This is, in my opinion, the pinnacle of the original 4 G63T engine era. The EVO 9 took the 8's platform and perfected it with one brilliant upgrade, MIVEC, Mitsubishi Innovative Valve Timing Electronic Control. This variable valve timing system on the intake cam gave the car a more linear power band, better throttle response, and more low-end torque. The turbo was also upgraded, making it more efficient and capable of handling more power. The result was a car that was just as brutal as the 8, but more refined and a joy to drive every day. While still officially rated at 276 horsepower in Japan due to the gentleman's agreement, the MIVEC-powered model was rumored to be pushing over 300 horses from the factory. This technological leap was a brilliant solution to its infamous turbo lag, making the car more appealing to a broader audience without losing its raw edge. So we've reached the final, and in some ways, most controversial chapter of the EVO's story. The EVO 10 was a complete departure from everything that came before it. And let me tell you, it split the fan base right down the middle. The EVO 10 was an all-new car. Gone was the legendary cast-iron 4 G63T engine. In its place was the all-aluminum 4B11T engine, with MIVEC on both the intake and exhaust camshafts. It also introduced Mitsubishi's new Super All-Wheel Control system, which was an even more advanced version of active yaw control and active center differential. Mitsubishi also offered a revolutionary TCSST dual-clutch transmission, though a 5-speed manual was still an option. This shift from a raw, analog feel to a more refined, technologically sophisticated car created a divide in the enthusiast community, with purists often viewing the 10 as not a real EVO. So, what happened? Why did they kill off a legend? Well, it wasn't a lack of love. It was a cold, hard business decision. Mitsubishi was struggling financially and decided to focus on what was selling. The EVO, a low-volume, expensive-to-develop enthusiast car, just didn't fit into their new survival strategy. It's a sad reality of the modern auto industry.